Matt the Man here. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed going down memory lane today. Once again, before I decided to become a film maker, film critic, podcaster, whatever you want to call me, director, editor, the sports highlight guy, Matt the Matt, I don't know. There was a time before all of this, all I cared about was Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, and basketball. That was it. That was the only thing I cared about. And then, after a while, I finally realized in 2001, my last year playing basketball, that it was time to hang up the jersey. It was coming. Once Michael Jordan retired, I knew basketball will never be the same, and it wasn't. Sorry, LeBron. Sorry, Kobe Bryant. You're not Michael Jordan. You'll never will be. And that's all. So, Space Jam 2. Well, the first Space Jam was a movie that came out in 1996. I said this before, I went with the Vance family, Coach Vance, Jake Vance. We went to United Artists, funny enough. Same one I saw this new Space Jam at. And that became one of the many movies I kept watching over and over and over and over again. I'm surprised I didn't wear out the VHS tape. But, so when they finally got around 25 years later to making another Space Jam, and sure enough, when they said LeBron James, of course, they need the newest well-known athlete. And so we got LeBron James. So let me get into this. The positives. The 2D animation. We see it briefly in the trailer. That looks really good. I think we forget sometimes that 2D animation can look amazing and beautiful on screen. We've gotten so used to the 3D animation, or that, we kind of forgotten the lost art of 2D. But I like how this one blends. We have a 2D segment in the movie, and then it moves over to 3D. And I think the 3D looks pretty good. Animation-wise, it looks good. I think some of the character designs on them in 3D kind of looks a little weird at times, a little freaky looking. Even Bugs Bunny, I thought, maybe, I don't know if it was the teeth of his, but they just looked off a little bit. I don't know if they were too big or what. But overall, the 3D looks really good. This movie has a lot of humor. I was actually surprised, this is a PG movie, more geared for kids. I didn't know if I was going to laugh, but I ended up laughing a lot more than I expected to. And then a lot of the critics were like, oh, I didn't laugh at all in this movie. And I don't know what movie you saw, but I laughed quite a bit during the movie. There's a montage in the movie where LeBron and Bugs Bunny have to go and find the other Looney Tunes, because they're not in Looney Tune land anymore. I won't get into why. So they have to go to different universes or worlds in the Warner Brothers serververse and get their Looney Tunes back. I do like it. It was a great montage of going into other Warner Brothers IPs, like Game of Thrones, like Harry Potter, like The Matrix, like Mad Max, like DC Universe. They have two two segments doing with the DC universe. And I liked when they went to go get Lola Bunny, what they were doing in the scene that we just saw in a recent DC movie. No, I like the montage that they had. I know a lot of you were like complaining about, oh, Warner Brothers is just, using their IPs to basically say, look what we got. But in this case, it worked. Don Cheadle is the villain in this movie. His name is Algorithm. He's the algorithm for the Warner Brothers server. Don Cheadle is a great actor. We've seen it many times, whether it's in the Marvel universe as Rhodey, War Machine, or in movies like Hotel Rwanda, The Ocean's 11, 12, 13. Don Cheadle is great in this movie, funny enough. He knows what kind of movie he's in, but he doesn't go too far over the top. He has that great balance of pushing it, but not too far. And he basically steals the movie. Actually, I'm going to get to my negatives soon, but when you watch Don Cheadle, you look at LeBron, you can definitely say, okay, LeBron sits to basketball because you can't act. And you really see it with Don Cheadle. Like, Don Cheadle is wiping the court all over LeBron when it comes to acting. I mean, it's like, you should have maybe went with somebody else. You don't get an Oscar-nominated actor to be in this movie and then put him next to a non-actor like LeBron, and you wonder what kind of results you're going to get. There's a halftime locker room scene that has a surprise cameo, and I will just say it was the most brilliant cameo for this type of movie. And not only what the cameo, who the cameo is, but what the person does in this cameo, it made me smile. I don't know how many little kids in the theater got the reference, but me, and I think a lot of other people, are going to love it. So those are my positives. Negatives. Well, negatives. Oh no. LeBron James. As we all know, just like the original Space Jam, Michael Jordan, one of my favorite athletes growing up. But guess what? Michael Jordan was not an actor, he's an athlete. And even though Michael Jordan wasn't that great in the Space Jam movie, the difference between this Space Jam movie and the original Space Jam is this Space Jam movie relies too much on LeBron James. Like, it's almost 20 minutes into the movie till we see the Looney Tunes. So right there, that's over 20 minutes with just LeBron. Like I said, LeBron is not an actor. The thing that worked in the original Space Jam was that it was focused more on the Looney Tunes having to go get a basketball player to help them win the basketball game. This one is LeBron James having to go get the Looney Tunes to play a basketball game. So it relies more on LeBron James than it does the Looney Tunes, where in the original, the Looney Tunes were more of the focus. That way, someone like a Michael Jordan, who's not an actor, he doesn't have all the weight on his shoulders. And I think that was a problem in this movie. There's a lot of scenes that, just like, okay, is he just reading off a note card? Because there is no emotion, no range. It's just like, hi. Oh, Bugs Bunny. Cool. I'm like, really? Or what? It's like, can you bring something? it's funny because when you see them in the 2D animation, obviously with animation, they can make them look, they can have them come alive and show personality. But when it's the real person, there's no emotion, there's no personality. Also, like I said about the original was more focused on the Looney Tunes having to go get somebody to play in their basketball game. This one, there's not that much focus on the Looney Tunes. I think it's about over 20 minutes till we finally get to the Looney Tunes. And then even when we get to the Looney Tunes, there's not really any time to really give them any type of character moments or character arc or catch up to where they are right now, 25 years later. There's actually the Tasmanian Devil. We see him during the 2D animation, and then it's almost halfway through the third act that I'm like, oh, there he is. Like, where has he been for the last 40 minutes? I think they should have put more emphasis on the Looney Tunes, since that's what kids are going to be going to see, not LeBron James. The Goon Squad, the villains of this movie. So, another thing growing up, since I was so much into basketball, I knew a lot of basketball players. The one thing that made the original good was they got the actual basketball players that were well known, like Charles Barkley, Muggsy Bogues, Larry Bird, to end up becoming the Goon Squad and play against Michael Jordan. Here, they got 2 men and 2 women basketball players, and I don't know either of them. I didn't know any of them. I was complete. Not to mention, if you go back and watch the original, they spend time with the Goon Squad. You get to know their personality a little bit. Here, you don't get to really know any of them. They're just there. Yeah, they show what they can do on the court, but that's about it. There's no time spent with them. And I thought that was a missed opportunity. Another thing. No supporting characters. You got LeBron, you got Don Cheadle, you got Looney Tunes on the good side, Goon Squad on the bad side, and that's it. And one thing I think this movie was definitely missing was a group of supporting characters. You go back and watch the original Space Jam, you got Bill Murray showing up, to give some more comedic relief. Or you got the man of the 90s, Wayne Knight. I think he was like Michael Jordan's publicist or agent. The guy from Jurassic Park. They brought a lot of humor to the movie, which allowed for someone like a Michael Jordan, who isn't an actor, to bounce off actual actors like a Bill Murray, like a Wayne Knight, who are seasoned actors and have a comedy background. And this movie has none. I think it would have been great to see Bill Murray pop in there. Or even Wayne Knight end up being LeBron's agent. And they had this story how the father and son dynamic, the son wants to be a video gamer, knows video games on his own. The dad, LeBron James, wants him to become a basketball player like him. And that's all nice and everything. It definitely had a hook, Steven Spielberg's hook feel to it, where Don Cheadle was leading the son to him, and LeBron was like Robin Williams, Peter Pan, trying to get his son back, but, Hook, trying to be the good dad, Peter Pan's son. It definitely had that vibe to it, but it was very minimal, the very minimal we can put in here to create some emotion, some conflict. You know, the one great thing about the original, I'm not saying the original Space Jam is like this Academy Award-winning movie. It's not. But what it is, it worked as a movie with Looney Tunes. It had the humor, and it actually had a story about a person, an athlete, not wanting to play the game of basketball anymore, and finding a way to get back in the game by playing with the Looney Tunes. And it was like an autobiography of Michael Jordan's life. Where, yeah, he was playing for the Chicago Bulls. He decided to retire. He went to go play baseball. You know, they showed that in Space Jam. That didn't work. And then interweaving the Looney Tunes stuff, but then eventually going back and playing the game of basketball with the Chicago Bulls. I mean, I said as a non-biography film, but technically a biography film about Michael Jordan's career. I mean, they made Space Jam 2. They should have showed him going from the Chicago Bulls to the Wizards. And they made a Space Jam back in like the early 2000s. But they didn't. But at least that had a hook to it. If people who know Michael Jordan's career knew what they were doing in the movie. Also, let's talk about the IPs. Having the court, around the court, filled with people from Batman movies, Mad Max, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, King Kong, Iron Giant, Wizard of Oz, The Matrix, who else did we see? The Mask. I mean, if you're going to have The Mask show up in the movie, you better get Jim Carrey. Now, to make it, I was watching the movie, as soon as they showed The Mask, I was going, why didn't they get Jim Carrey to be Don Cheadle's character? I mean, that would have been great. Not that Don Cheadle didn't do a good job, but just when you see The Mask, you go, where's Jim Carrey? It did get a little distracting. I mean, we even have Pennywise in the movie. You're watching the movie and you go, oh, there's The Mask. Oh, there's Batman. Oh, by the way, time out. If you watch Space Jam 2, I have a new drinking game for you. And the drinking game is, each time that Mr. Freeze shows up on screen, you take a drink. Now, I'm talking about the Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Stay cool, bird boy. You're not sending me to the cold. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Freeze. No. Yeah, you can play a drinking game, no lie. There's a great movie to play. Get a group of people together and have a drinking game. You either do it by how many times you see Mr. Freeze, or how many different Warner Brothers IP you can notice. After 5 minutes, you're going to be drunk, no matter what. So overall, like I said, I was entertained by this movie. I'm not going to say it's like a winner. You know, it is what it is. It's fun, it's entertaining. You get the Looney Tunes, you get basketball. There hasn't been that many basketball movies in a long time. Except the one that came out last year. We didn't get that many basketball movies. But we did get the one last year with Ben Affleck. So, overall, even though this is also on HBO Max, you can probably watch it at home if you have HBO Max. But also, I want one final thing. This is that the iconic music from the original, not only the iconic songs that made that movie, you know, Fly Like an Eagle, Space Jam, Welcome to the Space Jam, Do your dance, it's your dance. At the Space Jam. Alright. Um, this movie has no iconic music. There's no new iconic music, or whether they don't even have the original Space Jam song in this movie. It was just like, where's the music? Or, like, I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. That's what I thought every time I went to the basketball court. I believe I can fly. Except, I never did. Yeah, there's no iconic music in this movie. That was another bummer. Like, where's the music? I mean, they don't even have the Space Jam song in this movie. And this is a Space Jam movie. They had it in the trailer, but not in the movie. Go figure. Anyway, I forgot to add that a minute ago, so I'm putting that in right now. So I went to the movie theater, I saw this movie, and like I just said, this is on HBO Max, and guess what, people? The movie theater was full. Every seat in the theater was full. This is probably the first time since December of 2019, with the last Star Wars movie, that the movie theater was full. Completely filled. And I saw that and I was like, you know what? Even if this is not a good movie, I'm happy that the movie theater is full again. It's been a long time. And if this means what's coming in the future, with people finally getting back to the movie theater, that's great for me. And for the movie theaters. And for the studios. And everything else. So, I would give this movie a 3.7 out of 5. It's entertaining, but like I said, if I had HBO Max, I probably would have just watched it at home. But then I wouldn't have gone to the theater and see the theater completely filled. So, either way, 3.7. If you saw the original one, I think you'll still enjoy this. If you like basketball, I think you'll enjoy this. If you like LeBron James, I think you'll enjoy this. Overall, like I said, Matt the Matt here. Like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm sure maybe this week we'll get Spider-Man trailer. Maybe the Matrix trailer. I thought the Matrix was going to come out with Space Jam and the Warner Brothers movie. But maybe this week with Snake Eyes being an action film. And this week will be the exact 5 months until the Matrix comes out. Maybe they'll finally start the marketing push. Anyway, like I said, Matt the Matt here. Like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, before you even just go down right now, hit subscribe. It will help me out, it will help my money out, help the channel. And once again, you get to see me.